Hey, what is up, guys? My name is Tom Spark, and today we're talking about another video. Should you or do you avoid a VPN because it's too complicated? Well, VPNs aren't complicated anymore. They really aren't. First of all, let's start off with what is a VPN. Think of a VPN pretty much like an application, just like any other application. It's sort of like antivirus, but for your internet. I think that's a pretty good comparison. So basically what it does is it protects your internet traffic from outside sources, and it does this through what is called encryption. This makes your outgoing data kind of unreadable to internet service providers, hackers, governments, and so on. Usually when you connect to a VPN, you get assigned what is called an anonymous shared IP address, which means that it's a different IP address from your original IP address, and it's shared among other users so you can't be isolated. Now, if you're not even sure what an IP address is, it's basically just the kind of numerical address of your computer that if a company like an internet service provider or something like that sees, they can kind of see your general location. This is how you get targeted ads and stuff like that. But in general, you don't really want a website seeing your IP just because they can kind of locate you through your internet service provider. A lot of people, when they're torrenting stuff, they don't want their IP leaking out in case they get emails from the ISP and stuff like that. But anyways, guys, are VPNs really that complicated? So initially, VPNs were designed primarily and used primarily by corporations to protect company data. Now we're seeing more and more corporations actually use VPNs nowadays in order to protect company data, when they're traveling abroad and stuff like that. So it's still used in those circumstances. It's still used at workplaces to kind of protect company data from hackers and so on, especially in like the banking industry. But really there's like another market now, which is going to be more like the private kind of user market, which is kind of the application market that we see and I always talk about on this channel. This is going to be VPN applications that work really easily for the end user on iOS, Windows, Mac, Android, and so on. And all these applications that are used by people just at home or for their own uses, they're all really designed to be simple and easy to use. So most VPNs in the commercial kind of side, business, corporate, require more manual configuration, whereas the ones that people are using at home and stuff don't really require any configuration at all and aren't that really complicated. Even the ones that are manual aren't that complicated. Configuration is it takes around a couple minutes and it's a one-time process. But the apps that we're using at home, they're really not complicated at all. Most of them you could just kind of sign up and pretty much click to connect. So a lot of people will say I don't want to use a VPN. Maybe because there's going to be speed decreases. Well, if you have fast enough internet connection, it really shouldn't be too much of a problem. Now, you really do want to use a VPN for torrenting and stuff like that, and you're still going to get decent speeds. And if you want to use a VPN for streaming, that's also a good idea, especially if you want to get around geo restrictions. But if you want to use a proxy for torrenting, that's also another option. It's going to hide your IP and give you maybe a little bit better speeds than a VPN. But overall, you could some VPNs out there, you could actually customize cipher, which is customizing the level of encryption and the intensity of it, which means you might get a little bit better speeds. So look for those VPNs that are customizable. But anyways, guys, the VPNs really aren't that hard to use. And if you're new to VPN, well, you've come to the right place on this channel. I have tons of videos and tutorials. Check out the description down below for my top rated, easy to use VPN. And I'll see you again on the next VPN tutorial.